Correspondent in Moscow, Theo Merz, joins the program now. Theo, can you offer any more details on why the numbers keep rising there and what authorities are doing to try to stop it?
Well, there really haven't been very many restrictions in Russia at all until quite recently. Moscow locked down very hard at the start of the pandemic last year for several weeks, some really strict measures in place. But then it opened up much quicker than the rest of Europe, and that's because authorities were concerned about the economic impact of a extended lockdown. And we're seeing the effects of that now authorities are scrambling to put restrictions into place. One of them, as you mentioned, is this effectively mandatory vaccination for the majority of service sector workers. The Kremlin has insisted it's not mandatory because if people don't want to get the jab, they can just find another job. But in reality, it means that people are being forced to do this. And there's also going to be restrictions on entering bars and restaurants if people aren't vaccinated. So it remains to be seen whether it's been left too late to bring down these numbers.
Yeah, let's talk about the vaccination rate more, because it does seem that there's a reluctance from Russians to get vaccinated. The shot has been available for free there since January, and yet only a fraction of the population has gotten even one dose.
Yes, that's absolutely true. At the moment, just 15% of Russians have been vaccinated. That's a much lower proportion than in Europe, the UK, or the US. And that's because of distrust of vaccines in general, but more than that, a real distrust of the government and a distrust of anything that it might offer and a reluctance to take anything that it's offering for free. And authorities, in a large part, really have themselves to blame for that, because there was a big fanfare when Sputnik was unveiled last year, that Sputnik, the Russian vaccine, it was hailed as the first in the world, the first vaccine to be approved. But that was before it passed the final stage of clinical trials. So that right from the get-go, there was this distrust and uncertainty around that, concern about coronavirus infection rates and coronavirus deaths, how they were being reported, whether the numbers were being underreported. So throughout this whole crisis, and indeed in many other areas, there is a distrust in authority, and that has translated into a low pickup rate for this vaccine.
France 24's Theo Merz explaining the uptick in cases